Okay, welcome back everyone. I hope you have watched the first two videos of this lesson in which I had explained you the lesson and hope you understood it. Fine. So this is the third video of chapter 3 and in this video we will be doing the question answers and the exercises. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, the first exercise we are doing is understanding the text and in this lesson beta there are plenty of question answers. Okay, so we'll go step by step. So the first question they have asked is, what are you anyway? What did the Norton want to know about Carol? Okay, so this is what are you anyway is Mr. Norton asking Carol, है ना? And when we were reading the lesson, I told you that you'd never ask a human being what are you, मतलब तुम क्या हो? जैसे कोई वो चीज होती है ना? You would normally say who you are, ना? Not what. What is for inanimate objects, that is non-living things. So let's see. The answer will be the Nortons were curious about Carol's ethnic origin. Ethnic is national and religious origin, means obviously they wanted to know the race she belongs to. They had noticed that her skin tone differed from theirs. Differed means different. So, kept asking Carol outrageous question in an arrogant way to find out what her racial identity was. Outrageous question means very difficult questions without any rhyme or reason, just pestering her with their questions. Okay, let's move ahead. What do you think is problematic with the question? Does the word what makes a person seem less than human? How? So this is what they are trying to ask you, that is asking what to a person is problematic or not? Well, yes, it is. The pronoun what is generally used for inanimate objects. When we address a human being, we definitely don't use what. The pronoun attributes to living object is who. When Nortons ask Carol what she is, it makes her seem less of a human. So they had these two, both the couple, they didn't have any feelings as such. They are asking a little child what you are. Is there any word or phrase in para 32 that does the same thing? Now this paragraph which I have written here, it's not written in the question in the book. I have just written this paragraph here so that you can see what that paragraph is. Okay, so don't get confused. Don't ask me, ma'am, that paragraph is not written. I have written it. Okay, so that I can read it here. So Carol can't make out the woman's answer, but then she hears her say, I just can't see. It's not fair to children. I don't mind them mixed, but the world isn't ready for it. They are neither one thing or the other. Remember, while she was trying to pretend to sleep, these two were talking among themselves, and this is what Mrs. Norton tells her husband, that she doesn't like children from mixed race, and the world is not ready to accept these children who are from mixed parentage, and they are neither one thing or the other. Means she's uh, uh, addressing Carol as a thing which is not proper, ना? They are neither one thing or the, ना वो ये चीज है ना वो चीज है, वो कोई चीज नहीं है बेटा, है ना? They are human beings. Okay, so let's say what the answer is. They are neither one thing nor the other. So they have asked you now, is there any word or phrase in para 32 that does the same thing? So that is the phrase. There's none, they are neither one thing nor the other. This phrase dehumanizes Carol by making her merely a thing. No? Okay. Now answer these questions about Carol and her understanding of race. Does Carol understands the term race and mulatto? I hope everyone remembers the meaning of mulatto. Okay. No, because Carol is just a child. She doesn't know all these words, and she doesn't know what race means, what mulatto means, what is the big issue about being black or being American. Fine. So no, Carol does not understand the term race, but from the tone of Norton's, she can conclude that it is something bad. From the tone of Norton's means the way they say it, aha, are you a mulatto? So she understood that it meant something bad. She has not heard the word mulatto either. So both the words were absolutely new to her. She had not understood, never heard these words, neither she understands the meaning of these two words. When Carol first sees the Norton, does she identify them as white skin? What is the word she uses to describe Mr. Norton? When we started the lesson, the first, the moment they come and sit next to her, she says something. That is how she addresses Mr. Norton. When Carol first sees the Nortons, she does notice Mr. Norton's sunburnt face. Sunburnt face, I told you during the lesson also, when you get that tan when you sit a long time in the sun. But the skin color does not strike her as different from her own skin tone. The word Carol uses to describe Mr. Norton is big. So it was there in the lesson, a big sunburned faced man comes and sits next to her. So she didn't find any difference between her skin tone and the Norton's skin tone, because she didn't know there was any difference. She said, they are also human beings. I am also human being. Whether I am a little dark in complexion and they are fair in complexion, it doesn't make any difference. Do you think Carol understands color of skin or race as a major difference between people? Carol is too young and too innocent to be able to understand the difference that divides the world. Even though she thinks that Mr. Norton's face is a bit sunburnt, it does not bother her that he is of a different skin tone. In sharp contrast are the Nortons, whose sole concern is to find out Carol's ethnic identity. So here lies the difference between the girl and the couple. The girl was hardly bothered about the skin color, whether they are black, white, or she's black or they are white. And on the other hand, the Nortons had only one issue to be resolved, that is, what race does Carol belongs to? Means they are white skinned and she is a Negro. So they wanted to know. They wanted to know if Carol knows who she is. Answer these questions about the Nortons. Now these questions are asking about the Nortons. How do you see them? What is the first thing Mr. Norton notices about Carol? The first thing that Mr. Norton notices about Carol is her black doll. Remember, he holds her in his hands upside down and see, I have never seen such a black doll. Why does anyone take a black doll with her? He is baffled to see it and exclaims that he had never seen anything like this in his entire life. So he is a grown-up man and still he acts as a child, and only a child will behave like this. He'll pick up the doll by the leg and see, what a bad looking doll it is. I have never seen something like this in the world. So this is what Mr. Norton's reaction was when he noticed the doll. In para 32, again the same paragraph is being referred. Mrs. Norton says that the world is not ready for mixed people, though she does not mind them. Do you think she's being honest about her feelings? How do we know this? Now, Mrs. Norton, while addressing Mr. Norton, had said these words, the world is not ready for mixed people, for mixed parentage, they are neither this thing or that thing. So when she's communicating to her husband with these words, the author wants to know whether we think that Mrs. Norton is a little different from Mr. Norton. Mrs. Norton is honest about her feelings for mixed people because she does not mind Carol as much as Mr. Norton does. Yes, during the lesson you will come to know, beta, when you will read or try to understand the lesson, you'll see Mr. Norton is little negative, and Mrs. Norton is not that much. Though she is a little apprehensive about mixed race, she knows that Carol is a child and she wants to take care of her. That is why in between she says, wake her up, meals are ready. And when he stops her from going to the washroom, she tells him that please let her go, she's only a child. So she is a little soft-hearted. Mrs. Norton is honest about her feelings for mixed people because she does not mind Carol as much as Mr. Norton does. In fact, she keeps reminding Mr. Norton that she is just a child. She makes little gestures, asks Mr. Norton to wake the girl up for the meal. She also urges Mr. Norton to make way for Carol when she gets up to go to the bathroom. So she is little considerate, but Mr. Norton is not. He is just in his head that one thing is there, that Carol is a Negro. What do you think is the difference between Carol and Norton in the way they approach people? Means how you talk to people. And what do you think about the people? Do they treat everyone equally? After reading the lesson, you will come to know, no, the approach to people is quite different. Carol is not very into that, thinking that, okay, there is a difference between the color of the skin, so they are different people. But Nortons, they have there in their head that, okay, we are white skin, so we are superior, or so we are different to one those who are little dark skinned. And do they treat everyone equally? Yes, of course. Carol was indifferent whether whoever sits with her is a Negro or an American, but to the Nortons, that made a difference. That is why they made a hell of a lot of problems for Carol, and she had to get up and leave the place. So Carol is still too young to be conscious of difference of race and ethnic identity that divide the world. Hence, her approach to most people is non-judgmental. Non-judgmental means judge नहीं करती लोगों को उसके color के हिसाब से कि ये काला है तो ये ऐसा होगा, ये गोरा है तो ये ऐसा होगा. That is judgmental. Whereas the Nortons were from the very beginning disapproving of Carol. They kept asking her arrogant questions about her ethnic identity and wondered if she's of mixed race. So they are at two extreme ends. Carol is not bothered about what color people are. She just knows they are people. And on the other side, the Nortons, they are more worried that they are white skin and the others are black or dark skin. So that bothered them. I never use just one color. What is Carol talking about? And remember when they asked her if she would, what color she would paint her father or mother? That is what then she said this. I never use just one color. Mr. Norton asks her what color she would make her father's face if she were to draw him. Carol is puzzled by this question and obviously does not know what color to use. So she says that she would never use one color. So she's a child, she's a little confused about what color to use for the face actually. So she says, I will not use only just one more color. I will maybe using plenty of colors, number of colors. Carol's mother is a white woman, but Carol says she would color her using many different colors. Why do you think that is? Okay, that is because she doesn't want to leave the sheet white, na? That is why she thought she would color her mother's face with something else. Carol wanted to color her mother in different shades in spite of the fact that she's a white woman because there is no one color to depict the whiteness of the skin. She hesitates and then says yellow. First of all, the color comes out of her mouth is yellow. When the Nortons ask her if her mother is Chinese, she disagrees. She then mentions that her mother's face could be red. So the little poor child is little confused what color to use for her mother's face because she didn't want to leave the face blank. The sheet is white actually, na? So she thought instead of leaving it white like that, instead of leaving it blank like that, it will look odd. So she wanted to color it with something. And why do you think that is? Moreover, at such a young age, Carol is not aware how difference in skin tone denotes one ethnic identity. What does this tell us about the labels black and white that are used for the people? Are they accurate? Do children think in terms of these labels? When we call people black or white, what are we actually referring to? The labels black and white are nothing but social constructs. This has been made by our society. God has not made us black and white. He just made us human beings. Na? We have said that he's black, he's white, he's rich, he's poor, he's this and that. Na? So these are nothing but social constructs. Children like Carol are easily least discriminated. Children don't discriminate. Children play around. Na? It is when we tell them, no, beta, don't play with him. He is from a poor family. He doesn't belong to our group. That is when children pick up those things. Otherwise, children are children for them. Carol knew that people come in different skin tones, but she never passed discriminatory comments while dealing with white people. She knew, she could see. Obviously, we have eyes. We see that there are different shades, different skin tones. Like we Indians are a little wheatish. The Americans are white in color. And Negroes are black in color. So we can see that. But some of us don't, it doesn't bother us that they have a different skin tone. So too, Carol also, this didn't bother her much. Children do not recognize these labels unless they are consciously made aware of their ethnic origin and race. standing in the society. Unless and until we elders tell our children, okay, beta, now see, you are white, and you are fair skin, you are more beautiful. And look at those children, they are Negroes, they look so bad, so don't play with them. So until and unless we tell them, they never know that there is a difference. Okay. What do you think Carol has learned from the people and the attitudes towards race? Do you think her innocent outlook on life will remain the same after the flight? No, I don't think so. But after she has been poked and poked and poked, and after repeatedly told that you are a different race, after this flight, her attitude would definitely change. So young Carol, who was so far not affected by racial discrimination, was made conscious of her own racial identity by the Nortons. She understood that she was mulatto, a child of parents who were not of the same ethnic identity. This realization was bound to change her innocent and naive outlook. Naive means simple outlook. One flight to her grandparents changed her entire life. So after this flight, she will know that she's a Negro and the others are white skinned, the Americans are. So she will start discriminating and start looking at the world with these two things differently. Do you think it is thoughtless of the Nortons to ask a child such question? Would they have asked an adult the same question? Okay, yes, it was thoughtless. They should have known to ask silly questions like these to a small child. Sorry. Yes, it was thoughtless of the Nortons to ask Carol questions about her racial identity. They knew that she was a child traveling without her parents. They took advantage of her innocence, asking her insensitive questions. They probably would not have dared to ask an adult the same question. Obviously, an adult would have told them to shut up and mind their own business. Okay, that finishes the question answers bit. Okay, now we begin with the exercises. The relevant exercises I am doing, so don't bother and keep asking me, ma'am, that this exercise you have not done. The exercise which I am doing now are the only important ones, and you worry about these. The rest you can leave. Okay. So the first exercise is asking us, underline the noun phrase in each sentence and circle the head word. So we have to do how many things? We have to underline the noun phrase, and we then have to pick up the head word. Then identify the words that modify the head word before or after. So the exercise is asking us to do three things. First, we have to underline the noun phrase. Then we have to circle the head word. And then we have to identify the words that modify the head word before or after. Before or after means head word se pehle ya head word ke baad. Okay, now before we start doing the exercise, children, I hope you remember what is a noun phrase. A noun phrase is a group of words that that is used as a noun in the sentence. Like I say, a car is standing outside my gate. Fine, a car is standing outside my gate. Now here the noun is car. A car is a noun phrase actually. Car is a noun, but a car is a noun phrase. Now if I say a big brown car is standing outside my gate. A big brown car is standing outside the gate. So now a big brown car is the noun phrase. Okay, and the rest is something else. Now here we have used a group of words. Okay, and big and brown are adjectives which are telling me how the car is. Okay, so car is the head word. A big brown car is standing outside the gate. A big brown car is the noun phrase. Car is the head word. The whole phrase is about the car. Okay, and a big brown is the modifier of the head word car. Okay, I'll repeat again. A big brown car is standing outside the gate. Now in this, a big brown car is the noun phrase. It is acting as a noun, as a subject. Okay, so that's the noun phrase. And in this, car is the head word because a big brown car किसके बारे में बात कर रहा है? कार के बारे में. और कार को जो मॉडिफाई कर रहा है, मॉडिफाई मीन्स उसमें ऐड कर रहा है कोई और वर्ड्स, वो है अ बिग ब्राउन. तो बिग ब्राउन इज द मॉडिफायर विच इज यूज्ड बिफोर द हेडवर्ड, हेडवर्ड से पहले. Okay, so we have to take out the noun phrase, we have to circle the head word, and we have to take out the modifier which can be before or after. Let's begin the exercise, you'll understand it better. Okay, now here we have the first sentence. The first sentence is, a group of young people had gathered under a tree. Now in this, the noun phrase is, a noun phrase will always have a noun also and some other words with it. Okay, so here the verb is, the noun is people. So actually a group of young people is the noun phrase. Okay, so a group of young people is the noun phrase. Now a group of young people किसके बारे में है? People के बारे में है. तो people is the head word. And this head word में modify क्या कर रहा है? A group of young. ठीक है? So a group of young people हो गया noun phrase. इसमें main word क्या है? Now verb noun या pronoun हो सकता है. इसमें noun क्या है? People. तो people is the head word, और head word को क्या और elaborate तरह क्या बता जा रहा है? A group of young. ठीक है? अगर हम सिर्फ a group of young हटा दे बेटा, हम सिर्फ people से ले तो भी पूरा sentence बन जाएगा. देखो, people had gathered under a tree. पूरा sentence है. It is a complete sentence. है ना? So a group of young is an addition to people. Fine. So that is why we call it modifier. A tall teacher. A teacher is also correct. है ना? A tall आपने उसको modify किया, teacher को और elaborate कर दिया. ठीक है? Next, the girl in the yellow skirt is in my class. Okay, now here also the girl in the yellow skirt. Now here the noun is what? Girl. Okay, कौन सी girl? जो yellow shirt में है. So obviously the noun phrase is the girl in the yellow shirt. That is the noun phrase. And the girl in the yellow shirt में noun किसके बारे में बात कर रहा है? Shirt के बारे में नहीं बात कर रहा है, ये skirt के बारे में नहीं बात कर रहा है बेटा, है ना? Girl के बारे में, girl जिसने yellow skirt पहनी है. तो girl will be the head word. And the rest of the word, the in the yellow skirt will be the modifier. Fine. Supposing I can also say girl is in my class. Sentence is complete. Girl is in my class. लड़की मेरी क्लास में है. Instead of writing the girl in the yellow skirt, I can skip that. Okay, so the modifiers can be skipped and still the sentence will hold meaning. Let's move. My favorite period at school is geography. Now I hope you know period, है ना? It is so my favorite period at school is the noun phrase. अब इसमें head word क्या है बेटा? School है कि period है? किसके बारे में बात हो रही है? Period के बारे में बात हो रही है, तो period होगा head word, और बाकी सब जो बचा, my favorite at school will be the modifier. I can say period. At school, period is geography, means this period is going is geography. Okay, let's move ahead. The fourth one is, his old and rickety bicycle is in need of repair. Okay, here same thing, his old and rickety bicycle is noun phrase. It is talking about the bicycle, so head word is that, and the rest is the modifier. Fine. We did a project on eco-friendly ways to recycle waste. Now here, we did a project on eco-friendly ways to recycle waste. Now here, some of you will say we did a project on eco-friendly ways to that. Now where is the noun phrase? We is not a noun phrase, beta. We is just a subject. Now it is talking about what? Where is the main next noun? Noun is eco-friendly ways. Ways is also a noun. ठीक है ना? So the noun phrase is eco-friendly ways. Is the noun phrase, और इसमें noun क्या है? Ways. तो ways बन गया head word, और modify क्या कर रहा है? Eco-friendly. Fine. We did a project on eco-friendly ways to recycle waste. So eco-friendly ways is the noun phrase. The ways is the head word, and eco-friendly is the modifier. They organized a tour of a modern robotic lab. They organized, उन्हें organize किया tour किसके लिए? Modern robotic lab yesterday. Now here the noun phrase is modern robotic lab. Okay, noun phrase. And the head word is lab. Lab कैसा है? Modern है. And the rest of the words are modifier to the head word lab. Okay, so that finishes that exercise. Now we move on to the next one. Now in this it is asking us to underline the noun clause. Noun phrase tha wo pehla, the last exercise. This one was noun phrase. Remember with a phrase and clause, phrase will not have a verb and a noun. Okay, clause will have a verb and a noun. Okay, now how do we find out the noun clause? What is the one thing that we use? Okay, the first sentence is, what was most striking was the sight of colorful kites flying everywhere. Okay, now the first one here. Now, mostly beta noun clause will begin with W questions. Okay, or that. Okay, they can be used as a subject, they can be used as an object also, object of the verb also, after the prepositions also. Okay, the first one is, what was striking is the noun clause. See, in this clause you have the verb also and you have the subject also. Now moving to the next is, the principal announced that we would plant more trees in our school. Now the principal announced. Now in this, the easy way to find out the noun clause is you pick up the verb first. Okay, verb is what in this? The principal announced that we would plant. Here the verb is announced. Principal ने क्या announce किया? Announce किया के we would plant more trees in our school. So when you ask what with the verb, the principal announced what? That he would plant more trees in our school. When the answer you get for the what is the noun clause. Like in the first one, beta, was the sight of colorful kites flying everywhere. What was the sight? So what was most striking? Okay. So the principal announced what? That we would plant more trees in our school. So mostly with the verb, when you ask what, क्या, ना, तब जो answer मिलेगा वो noun clause होता है. So in this sentence it is that we would plant more trees in our school. Now here, it is a great pity that our cities are overflowing with garbage. It is a great pity. What is a great pity? क्या great pity है? Pity मतलब खराब है ना? What about a pity she failed? Okay, so it is a great pity. What is a great pity? That our cities are overflowing with garbage. So here, see that. So I said WH or that. And it sometimes it is if and whether also is used. So that, if, whether, and WH, like what, where, who, when. Okay. Next one is, most people feel that trees should not be cut for widening the roads. Now here the verb is feel. Most people feel what? क्या feel करते हैं? That trees should not be cut for widening the roads. So when you ask the question what with the verb, you will get the noun clause. So here's the noun clause, that trees should not be cut. Most people feel क्या, ya what? And the answer you get is the noun clause. I wonder whether I should volunteer for the beach cleaning up campaign. Now here the verb is wondered. I wondered what? मैंने क्या wonder किया, क्या सोचा? Whether I should volunteer for the beach cleaning up campaign. So here the rest after whether is the noun clause. So mostly with the verb, if you ask the question what, you get the noun clause. And remember in class 7th we have done what से क्या मिलता था? Object मिलता था, verb का object. So that is one rule for the noun clause. Noun clause is used as the object of the verb. And for object of the verb, we used to ask what and whom. Remember, direct and indirect objects. So this. The success of the event depends on who is organizing it. Success किस पे depend करता है? कि वो उसे कौन organize कर रहा है. So the success of the events depends on what? Who is organizing it. So here you get the answer. Okay, so the principal announced what? That we should plant more trees. It is a pity what? That our cities are overflowing. Many people feel what? That trees should not be cut. I wondered what? Whether I should volunteer. The success of the event depends on what? Now, who is organizing it? So with the question what, with the verb, you will get the noun clause. And the clause will always have a verb and a noun or a pronoun. Okay, let's move ahead. Fine. Now this is, look at the highlighted words in these sentences and think about their meaning. Then rewrite each sentence to bring out the meaning. You can write more than one sentence if necessary. Now in this exercise, because they have highlighted this word. Okay, you have to pick up the dictionary and you have to use another word for this. I have already done it. You just have to do it. I took a sip of the drink and frowned with disgust. I had forgotten to add sugar. What baffles me is how the thieves got into the house without breaking any of the locks. Now, baffles, we have done this word in the question answers also, okay? I was puzzled to find that the thieves broke into the house without breaking any of the locks. So you just, in the book, you have to do these exercises, okay? Don't worry about the copy. We usually used to do the exercises in the book only. So find place for this, rewrite this sentence in the book, fine? No need to do it in the copy. Then the answer is, Regan was heartbroken to see the boys hitting the stray cat with stones. My mouth dropped when I saw Usain Bolt run the 100 meters race in 9.58 seconds. And the answer will be, I was amazed to see. My mouth dropped, मतलब मुंह गिर नहीं गया बेटा, नीचे नहीं गिरना. Mouth drop मतलब जब आप कोई ऐसी चीज देखते हैं आपका मुंह खुला का खुला रह जाता है ना. So I was amazed, like this. This is mouth dropped. I was amazed to see Usain Bolt run the 100-meter race in 9.58 seconds. I swallowed hard when I saw how high the mountain we would be climbing was. Swallowed hard means when you find it difficult to do things, you know? When teacher asks you something, come and say a speech in front of the class, you swallow like this and you say, I'm a difficult thing to do. The very idea of climbing up the high mountain made me panic. Okay. Fine. So with this, we come to the end of the exercises, beta. Okay, there's another one. Nikhil didn't want his uncle to leave. He pleaded with him to stay for a few more days. Nikhil didn't want his uncle to leave. He begged with his uncle to stay for a few more days. So pleaded, begged. No, when you beg for something, you say, no, please do it. Okay. So now this we come to the end of this video. I hope you will understand the question answers, and exercises are to be done in the book itself. Find place for it to write, and please do write neatly, everyone. Okay, so bye for now. We'll meet you in the next class. Bye, everyone. Be safe.